Hello, and welcome to Listen to English. We are thrilled to have you here. This video is specifically designed for learners at the C1 advanced level. This means you will hear faster speech patterns, complex sentence structures, and sophisticated vocabulary suitable for high-level proficiency. If you find this content too challenging, or perhaps too easy, please check out our channel's playlists for videos tailored to levels A1 through B2. We have something for everyone. In today's episode, we are exploring a phenomenon that affects us all in the modern world: the frustration of having too many options. To guide us through this topic, we have a special guest host today. Please welcome Maya. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a lesson. Now, let's listen.
Hello. Thank you for having me on Listen to English. I'm Maya, and I am absolutely thrilled and, to be completely honest, significantly overwhelmed to be here today. Why overwhelmed? Well, I had a minor existential crisis this morning just choosing what to wear for this recording. I stood in front of a closet bursting with clothes for 20 solid minutes and concluded that I have absolutely nothing to wear. That feeling of paralysis in the face of abundance is the perfect introduction to our topic today. Let's talk about the paradox of choice. Let me paint a picture for you. I want you to nod along if this sounds familiar. It's Friday night. It's been a long, grueling week. Your brain feels like a squeezed lemon, totally drained of cognitive juice. You've successfully navigated through spreadsheets, high-stakes meetings, and terrible traffic. Now, you deserve a reward. You order a pizza, let's say pepperoni with extra cheese, and you sink into your couch. You grab the remote. You fire up Netflix. You are ready to relax. The screen lights up, presenting you with a glittering, endless grid of possibilities. Thousands of movies, documentaries, stand-up specials, obscure foreign dramas you've never heard of. The world of cinema is literally your oyster. And what happens next? You start scrolling. Your thumb starts getting a workout. You hover over a thriller. Looks intense. Do I have the emotional energy for intense right now? Maybe not. You scroll down to a comedy. Rotten Tomatoes only gave this 60%. Do I want to risk 90 minutes of my precious life on a mediocre movie? You scroll sideways. Oh, I've seen that one. It was great. Should I watch it again? At least it's a safe bet. But then a voice inside you whispers, "No, Maya, don't be boring. Try something new. Expand your horizons." 20 minutes pass. The pizza arrives. It's steaming hot, smelling glorious. 40 minutes pass. You are deep in the subgenres now. You are looking at categories like quirky independent movies featuring talking animals from the 1,990 seconds. You are watching trailers for things you know you will never actually watch. An hour passes. The cheese on your pizza has solidified into a rubbery, cold mass. And you? You are exhausted, frustrated, and weirdly angry at the television. Eventually, defeated by the sheer volume of options, crushed by the pressure to pick the perfect entertainment, you turn off the TV. You end up just scrolling through Instagram on your phone in silence, watching videos of other people living their best lives until you fall asleep. Congratulations! You have just become a victim of the paradox of choice. It seems counterintuitive, doesn't it? We grow up in a culture that worships freedom, and logic dictates that freedom means autonomy, and autonomy means having choices. Therefore, if some choice is good, more choice must be better. We assume that walking into a supermarket and seeing 50 different varieties of breakfast cereal, from healthy granola to sugary rainbow marshmallows, is the ultimate sign of a prosperous, happy society. But psychologists, most notably a brilliant man named Barry Schwartz, have argued that this is actually a fallacy. It's a trap. Here is the crux of the issue. Our brains are not designed for this. Think about our ancestral environment. For thousands of years, our choices were simple and binary. Do I eat this berry, or will it kill me? Do I run from that tiger, or do I fight it? Our brains are evolved to make quick decisions based on scarcity, not abundance. When we are faced with the modern avalanche of options, our ancient cognitive machinery gets jammed. Schwartz argues that when we face too many options, two negative things happen. First, ironically, it produces paralysis rather than liberation. The cognitive load, the sheer mental effort required to weigh all the variables of 5,000 movies is too high. Our brains short-circuit. We become terrified of making the wrong move, so we often make no move at all. That's analysis paralysis. Second, even if we manage to overcome the paralysis and make a choice, we end up less satisfied with the result than we would be if we had fewer options. Why? Because of the nagging little voice in the back of your head saying, "What if? What if the other movie was funnier? What if the documentary I almost clicked on would have changed my entire worldview?" This curse of comparison creates a state of perpetual dissatisfaction. The hypothetical alternatives are always perfect in our heads, making reality feel disappointing by comparison. This pressure to make the perfect choice turns us all into what psychologists call maximizers. I want you to be honest with yourselves now. Are you a maximizer? A maximizer needs to know with absolute certainty that every purchase or decision was the absolute best one possible. Think about buying a new phone. A maximizer doesn't just walk into a store and buy one. Oh no, they spent weeks reading 50 different tech reviews. They watch YouTube comparison videos comparing camera pixels. They check price histories across 5 different websites. They agonize over technical specifications they don't even fully understand. Do I need this processor speed? Will I regret not getting the Pro version? When they finally buy the phone, are they happy? Briefly. Until they see an ad for a newer model a week later, or see their friend with a slightly cooler phone, and then the regret sets in. On the other end of the spectrum, we have the satisficers. A satisficer has criteria, of course. They might need a phone that has a good battery and costs under $500. They look until they find a phone that meets those criteria, something that is good enough. They buy it. And then, and this is the key part, they stop thinking about it. They don't worry about whether a slightly better phone existed somewhere in the universe. I confess, I am a recovering maximizer. I used to treat ordering dinner at a restaurant like I was negotiating a high-stakes peace treaty. I would study the menu like a legal contract. I'd harass the waiter. Be honest, is the salmon better today or the risotto? What are other people ordering? And heaven forbid I ordered the salmon and then saw someone at the next table looking happier with their risotto. My meal would instantly taste like ashes in my mouth. Taste like regret. That is the toxicity of excessive choice. It robs us of the joy of the present moment. Now, before we move to big life decisions, we have to talk about something called decision fatigue. This paradox doesn't just happen during big moments. It's a slow drip, drip, drip throughout the day. Think about how many micro choices you make before 9 a.m. When did you wake up? To snooze or not to snooze? What clothes to wear? What coffee to drink? Which email to answer first? What podcast to listen to on your commute? By the time you get to the actual important decisions of your day, your brain's willpower supply is depleted. You are cognitively exhausted. That's why, at the end of the day, you don't have the energy to cook a healthy meal or work on your novel. You only have energy to stare at Netflix and eat cereal for dinner. The volume of petty choices is draining our life force. Now, let's take this concept and apply it to something even more complex than phones or pizza. Let's talk about modern love and friendship. Because this mindset, this fear of committing because a better option might be just a click away, has infected the deepest parts of our social lives. Think about modern dating apps. They have turned the profound human search for connection into something eerily similar to browsing an Amazon catalog. You swipe left, swipe right. You filter human beings by height, profession, political affiliation, hobbies. We start treating people like commodities with features to be compared. Okay, this guy is funny, but is he ambitious? This girl is cute, but does she like the same weird indie music I do? No? Swipe left. We are looking for that impossible 100% match rating that an algorithm promised us exists. And just like with Netflix, the sheer volume of potential partners devalues the actual people right in front of us. Why commit to a second date with a perfectly nice, interesting person when there are thousands more profiles waiting in your pocket? Why commit to a dinner plan with a friend next Tuesday when you can leave it vague? You know what I'm talking about, that non-committal text message culture. You ask a friend to hang out, and they reply with the dreaded, "Sounds good, let's play it by ear." Translation: I want to keep my evening open just in case a better, cooler, more Instagrammable offer comes along. We are so terrified of missing out on some hypothetical phantom alternative, the perfect party, the perfect date that we miss out on the actual, real connections happening right now. We let our relationships get cold, just like that pizza. And finally, we have to touch on shopping and self-image. The paradox of choice has a cruel twist in the age of social media. Barry Schwartz makes a brilliant point about buying jeans. 30 or 40 years ago, you went to the store. There was basically one type of jeans. You tried them on. If they fit badly and looked terrible, you blamed the jeans. You said, "These pants are stupidly designed." You felt annoyed, but you didn't feel personally responsible. Today, you walk into a store, or worse, go online, and you face slim fit, skinny fit, relaxed fit, boot cut, tapered, high-rise, mid-rise, acid wash, stone wash, raw denim. It's overwhelming. Now, listen closely. If there are hundreds of options, and you choose a pair that doesn't look absolutely perfect on you, who do you blame? You blame yourself. You think, with all these choices available, the perfect pair must be out there somewhere. I was just too incompetent or too lazy to find it. The abundance of choice shifts the burden of responsibility onto our shoulders. It turns every simple purchase into a test of our taste, judgment, and identity. And social media makes this 10 times worse. Because on Instagram, it looks like everyone else found the perfect jeans. Everyone else found the perfect vacation spot, the perfect partner, the perfect job. We are constantly comparing our messy, complex realities with everyone else's curated highlight reels. This inevitably leads to that feeling of missing out, feeling like we are failing at the game of choice. So, where does this leave us? Are we doomed to be anxious messes, scrolling Netflix until the end of time, unable to commit to anything? No, there is a way out, but I warn you, it goes against everything our culture tells us. The secret to happiness in the modern world is not seeking more freedom. It is embracing voluntary constraints. We need to artificially limit our choices to regain our sanity. We need to practice being satisficers deliberately. When you find something in life that is good enough, a job that pays the bills and has nice colleagues, an apartment that is safe and cozy, a partner who is kind and makes you laugh, stop looking. Stop swiping. Stop comparing. Does this mean settling for mediocrity? No. It means recognizing that the endless pursuit of the best is actually the enemy of the good. By restricting our options, we free up our most valuable resource, our brain power. We free ourselves from the paralyzing anxiety of the what if. So, here is my challenge to you for this week. The next time you have to make a low-stakes decision, whether it's what to eat for lunch or what to watch on TV, give yourself a strict 2-minute time limit. Pick the first thing that seems pretty good, and then commit to it fully. Don't look back. Don't read reviews after you've bought the product, because let's be honest, lukewarm pizza is still pizza. And a good life lived with full attention, without constant second-guessing, feels a lot like a perfect one. Thank you so much for listening to my existential rambling. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go eat some very cold, rubbery pizza that I spent way too long ordering. See you next time!
Excellent work. You have just completed a C1 Advanced Listening session. Today, you navigated through complex psychological concepts, idiomatic expressions like the world is your oyster and analysis paralysis, and followed a fast-paced monologue. Maya's story about the cold pizza is something we can all relate to, but now you can explain why it happens in sophisticated English. Remember, language learning is also about making choices. Don't be a maximizer looking for the perfect method. Just start listening. Just start speaking. Being a satisfier in your learning journey can sometimes help you progress faster. We hope you enjoyed this format. What is the hardest choice you have to make in your daily life? Tell us in the comments below. Your feedback helps us improve. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to Listen to English and share it with your friends. See you in the next video.